Hello and welcome back to MTN Coaching's podcast, Better Than Yesterday, the podcast where we intend to leave you better than yesterday. Now, today I want to dive in deep into how to achieve life-changing fat loss results in 2024. We're approaching January, and this is the time of the year when so many people want to take control of their health, their habits, their physiques. And for me, as a fitness business owner, it is probably my favourite time of the year because it's one of the busiest times of the year. I love this time of the year for kind of forward planning for people, helping them to kind of map out the next few weeks, the next few months, and really just what their year should look like from a physique, a health, and a fitness transformational perspective. I'll go with. Not sure that's a word. But yeah, I want to chat a little bit about fat loss today, and I suppose where you start if you're really looking to take control of your kind of fat loss efforts in 2024. Now, the first thing that you need to look at is where you're currently at. Now, most people have a mirror. Most people probably look at themselves in the mirror every single day, maybe more than normal people, if you're me. But that's going to allow you to see where you're currently at right now. It's going to allow you to kind of judge what's the first steps for you. Now, for some people, that might be losing between 5 and 10 pounds. For other people, this might be losing over 100 pounds. Both of these are going to dictate how long that you need to spend losing fat, and of course the approach that you need to take as well. So you first need to look and see where you're currently at. That's going to give you an idea of where to start. As I said, some people, it's a much smaller time frame, smaller amount of fat that they're looking to lose. For some people, this might be a 12-month journey. So hopefully this video allows you to get started on that journey, whether it's 12 weeks or whether it's 12 months. So step one, look and see where you're currently at. Have a rough kind of idea in your mind on how long that's going to take. As a very general rule of thumb, you're looking to lose 0.5% of your body weight on a weekly basis. So if you weigh 100 kilo, you're looking to lose half a kilo every single week. That's a very safe and effective rate of fat loss. And again, that's a kind of sustainable rate of fat loss. What I will say on that, just a little bit of a caveat, the more weight that you have to lose, the quicker and safer that you can lose that. If you're somebody that's pretty lean already, you want to be losing fat at a slightly slower rate in order to kind of maintain as much muscle as possible. So keep that in mind. So step one, review where you're currently at. Step two is figuring out your calories, protein, and steps. Now, most people will charge you to sit and figure this out. I will give you all of the information that you need right here in this video. Please feel free to grab a notepad, write some notes on your phone if you need to do that throughout. For calories for fat loss, most people should be aiming to lose between 1 and 3 pounds per week. So as I said, it's between 1 and 3 pounds, or it's about half a kilo, 0.5% of your body weight every single week. So keep that in mind. If you want just the simple maths there, anywhere between 1 and 3 pounds is fairly safe, fairly effective. What you're looking to do to figure out your calories is you're looking to take your weight in pounds, so get your body weight, convert it to pounds, and you're looking to multiply this by between 10 and 15. Now, the 10 multiplier is for those that are very low activity. So this is for somebody that's maybe got a desk job, somebody that doesn't move much on a day-to-day basis. The 15 multiplier, that's for somebody that's very, very active. Maybe you're working construction, maybe you're already training pretty regularly, or maybe you're just a fidget like me. Like if you're watching this, you'll see that I'm quite handsy, I move about a lot. That generally dictates how many calories you can lose weight on, which is wild. But as I said, weight in pounds multiplied by between 10 and 15. If you're somewhere in the middle there, 11, 12 or 13, that's totally fine as well. So just pick a multiplier, doesn't matter massively right now which you pick. Once you've got that, it's going to give you, your calorie count. It's probably going to range between 1,400 and 3,500, depending on what your body weight is and depending on the multiplier that you use. All we want you to do next is track your calories every single day for 10 days. Alongside this, I want you to track your body weight every single morning for 10 days. Doing these things side by side is going to give you a nice measure on what's actually happening with your body. Are you losing weight? Are you gaining weight? Are you maintaining weight? Now, we want you to do this daily because your weight fluctuates massively on a day-to-day basis. So if you're only taking your weight on a Friday, you're only getting that one measure on it every single week. Doing it over the course of 10 days, it's going to allow you to figure out a weekly or a 10-day average, which is a much more realistic way to get a measure on what your body weight is doing. Now, if your weight is up, you're probably going to want to reduce your calories by 200-300. If your weight's maintained, probably going to want to reduce your calories by about 100. And if your weight's starting to drop slowly and steadily, that's exactly where you want to be. So that's what I'm saying. Track your calories for 10 days. Bang on, 10 days. Track your weight for 10 days every single morning. Again, try and keep all the metrics and measurables the same. Do it naked, do it in the same clothing every day, do it in the same place, do it at the same time. Keep all of these measures the same every single morning. Once you've done that, you're going to be able to see what your weight's done and make a decision on what's next for you. So keep that in mind. Just a recap on that one before we move on to protein intake. As I said, weight in pounds multiplied by between 10 and 14. 10 if you're really inactive, 15 if you're super active, and then if you're somewhere in between those, 11, 12, 13 or 14 is the number that you're going to use. Now, protein intake, again, somebody's going to probably try and charge you online for giving you your protein intake. It's pretty simple. Take your weight in pounds, multiply it by 1. That is it. I weigh 185 pounds, therefore my protein is 185 times 1, which is 185 grams. So that's what I'm going to track to start off with. Now, if you're very obese, if you're very over fat, overweight, however you want to describe it, you're going to multiply this by between 0.7 and 0.8. So just take your weight in pounds, multiply it by 0.7, 0.8. If on the opposite end of that, you're an elite athlete, you're super lean already, you're probably looking for a slightly higher protein intake, you're going to multiply that by about 1.2. So again, I'd take my weight in pounds, 185, multiply by 1.2, and unfortunately my math skills aren't quite there. So I think it's probably going to be about 197 grams would be my guess. That's your protein intake. You've got calories, you've got protein, you've got a nice starting point there. Only other thing that you need for a fat loss goal is your step count. So your steps are just your daily energy expenditure. So try and think about your steps not just as steps. They're generally just a measure on your watch, your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, whatever it is, on how much you're moving on a daily basis. To start off with, guys, all I want you to do is look at your current steps and increase them by 1,500. That is it. So if you're currently doing 8,500 on average, bump that up to about 10,000. If you're currently doing 10,000, bump it up to 11,500 and you're good there. Once you've got that, you've reviewed where you're currently at, you've kind of seen how long the journey is going to take. You know that you want to lose between 1 and 3 pounds every single week for the next few weeks and months. You've got your calories, you've got your protein, you've got your steps. So you're mostly good to go. And if I'm being completely honest, if you do not want to train, you will still see good fat loss results just following a calorie controlled diet. So if all you do over the next few months is track your calories, track your protein and increase your steps, you're going to lose a lot of weight. The third kind of missing puzzle piece is going to be training, specifically weight training, because we talked about two different things there. We talked about weight loss and we talked about fat loss. Fat loss is the ability to lose body fat whilst hopefully maintaining as much muscle as possible, and weight loss is generally just losing any sort of weight from your body. Weight loss could also take into consideration losing body weight through sweating, through sitting in a sauna, through peeing more, through going to the toilet more, like whatever. So what we're really aiming for is fat loss. Now, the best fat loss results stem from those that are able to maintain or even build as much muscle throughout their fat loss journey. So that's why all of our clients at MTN Coaching that have a fat loss result tend to do weight training. A lot of people think when they work with a coach, it's going to be spending hours, on a treadmill, hours doing on the cross trainer, hours doing like endless amounts of cardio. That's not the case. Most of our clients train for 4 hours per week. Of that 4 hours, 3 hours and 50 of it is weight training. It's just lifting weights up and down. That's it. I've maybe simplified that a little bit. So like I said, you've got calories, you've got protein, you've got steps. The next missing puzzle piece is going to be your training plan. You really don't need anything fancy. You just need the basics. You need to do them regularly. You probably want to follow the same plan for between 4 and 8 weeks before you change anything. You need to focus on getting stronger week by week, month by month. And 80% of your training should be weight training, if not a little bit more. A lot of people think running is going to be the answer. Running's pretty popular right now. I think with the rise of high rocks, a lot of people are doing half marathons. Running is probably one of the worst ways to actually improve your body shape. You can lose a little bit of weight through that, not necessarily fat. If you really want to optimize fat loss results and achieve that amazing physique result, you really need to optimize and prioritize weight training. So please keep that in mind. If it's not out already, I'm going to release a podcast on exactly how you can just design your own training plan. So it's going to give you a breakdown of how many reps, how many sets, what sort of exercises that you should be doing. So if you're totally lost from a training perspective, you can certainly listen to that episode. It's going to give you a little bit more of an insight. Alongside that, just DM me anytime, whether it's email, Instagram, maybe not Facebook, but just get in touch with me. I'm always more than happy to help free of charge. Like, I really don't mind if you pay me. If you just want to ask me some questions, great. If you want to pay me, even better. So as I said, you've got your calories, you've got your protein, you've got your steps, you've decided that you're going to weight train. As I said, 3 or 4 days per week is going to be ideal for that. The next step is really monitoring the progress to ensure that you're actually getting some form of actionable result. Now, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, apparently in the PT space. A lot of PTs basically say that the scales don't matter, and I'm here to say that that's complete bollocks. You need scales. Like, your body fat, your body weight is going to drop. A good measure of that is what you weigh. I do understand where some coaches are coming from. They are saying that, you're going to gain some muscle and lose some fat, so the scales don't matter too much, they'll balance out. In almost every case, and almost every client that I've worked with, if their goal is fat loss, your ability to lose fat is much higher than your ability to gain muscle. Now, what I mean by that is it's much easier to lose 10 pounds of fat than it is to gain 10 pounds of muscle. For me to gain 10 pounds of muscle right now, it's probably going to take steroids. It's probably going to take 3 to 4 years. It's probably going to take things that I'm probably not willing to do. Losing fat, 10 pounds can do in 5 weeks. You know what I mean? It's much easier. So keep that in mind. The scales do matter. They are not the only thing that matter, but they need to be a metric that you use to monitor your fat loss results. So please keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to weighing yourself, as I've mentioned, I'd recommend doing it every single day. A lot of people say, that's bad for the relationship with food. It's bad for the relationship with their body. I actually disagree. I think it's one of the best metrics in order to keep you on track with a fat loss result. One of the most powerful things that does is actually just give you an actionable number every single morning. Now, no, that doesn't dictate what you do in a day-to-day, but on a week-to-week and on a month-to-month, when you've got that weekly, monthly average of what your weight's doing, gives you a much better idea of what to do with your calories, what to do with your steps. Do you need to add cardio? So it does give you that kind of bird's eye view once you've got all that information. So if you are going to weigh yourself and you are going to use it as a metric, don't do it once per week. That is pretty useless if I'm being completely honest. I want you to do that. I want you to do it daily, every single morning, same time, same scales, same place, same or minimal clothing, and do that every single day. Now, as I said, the scales aren't the only thing that matter, but they are what matters for 90% of the population. I want you to monitor your body weight every single day. Alongside that, I want you to track and take progress photos probably every 2 weeks. Now, if you're really overweight right now, it's one of the most daunting things that you can do is take photos of yourself half naked. Of course, we all love it here at MTN Coaching, but maybe you're not there yet. It's one of the most powerful metrics in order to see change. Like, if you're listening to this, it's likely that you want to change your body composition, you want to change your body shape. Actually seeing what your body shape looks like on a 2, 4 or 6 week basis is one of the best ways to stay motivated. It's one of the best ways to see change. So please keep that in mind. If you are really overweight, I would definitely do it, but you probably don't need to do it every 2 weeks. You're probably looking at every 4 to 6 weeks in order to see good changes. The leaner you are, the more frequent that you want to do it. Some of our clients each year that are doing things like the 12-week peak, which is our kind of big summer transformation program, they do it every week because they're seeing week-to-week changes rather than people that have a lot of body fat. They're probably not going to see much on a week-to-week basis. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to monitoring your progress, you're going to take your weight on a daily basis. You're going to take your progress photos every 2 to 4 weeks. You're going to track the weights that you're lifting. That's one of the most underutilized. I'll go with that. It's one of the most underutilized methods of tracking progress. If you're getting stronger week by week in the gym and your body weight's dropping, that is a surefire sign that you're gaining a little bit of muscle alongside losing fat, which is one of the best ways to improve your overall body shape. Alongside that, you obviously want to look at other metrics. You want to look at how you look, how you feel, how your clothes fit, and measurements as well. Just be mindful that some of those are a little bit more subjective. Of course, how you feel is subjective, but it's probably one of the most powerful subjective measures that we can use. We want you to feel your best. We want you to feel more confident. We want you to feel happier within yourself. So as I said, there's a number of metrics that you should use: body weight, photos, measurements, and of course, how you look, how you feel on the inside and on the outside. So just to recap on those steps, we've got reviewing where you're currently at, kind of figuring out what that time frame for dieting looks like for you. You're going to figure out your calories, your protein, and your steps. You're going to figure out some form of training plan. If you need some help with that, please feel free to message. And you're going to think about how you're going to monitor your progress as well, as we've just mentioned there. And the last step is going to be accountability. Now, most people don't get results because they lack two things. It's either they lack knowledge or they lack accountability. In some cases, it's both. And this is generally how my business runs. It runs on people coming to us that either need the knowledge, they don't know their calories, they don't know their protein, they don't know how to train, or they come to us knowing those things, but they need the accountability to hold them accountable. They need the accountability to hold them accountable is probably the stupidest thing I've said on this entire podcast so far, but we're going to roll with it. So yeah, they're either lacking knowledge or they're lacking accountability. Now, if you've listened to this so far and you knew it all, you knew everything about monitoring your progress, you knew all the calories, you knew all the protein, you knew all of those things already, you probably don't lack knowledge, you lack accountability. That's exactly what we're here for at MTN Coaching. So this was just a 15-minute sales pitch, so make sure, no, I'm joking. But that is actually what we offer at MTN. It's unrivaled accountability. That's probably the reason that we have such a high success rate with clients. Every coach on earth can give you your calories, your protein, a meal plan, a training plan. What they probably don't give you is the level of accountability that you need every step of the way. So like I said, of course, if you want to work with us towards that and have us to hold you accountable, perfect. We're here for you every step of the way. Equally, what works for a lot of people is actually just having a friend group, having a group of people that are all working towards the same goal. Create a group chat, create a Facebook group, meet up every weekend, whatever that is for you. You just need someone and something to hold you accountable. So if you've not got a coach, totally fine. If you don't want to invest in a coach, totally fine. Find someone that's working towards a common goal. It's easier than ever nowadays with Facebook groups, with these online forums. You can certainly find someone that's working towards that common goal. And they can hold you accountable along the way as well. So keep that in mind. Just quick recap, like I said, you're going to review where you're at, you're going to figure out your calories, protein and steps, you're going to figure out your training plan. What does that look like? 3 days, 4 days, how much of it's weight training, how much of it's cardio. You're going to monitor your progress across the metrics that we mentioned, and hopefully you're going to find someone to hold you accountable. Like I said, it is coming up for January. If you need any help with your goals, whether it's fat loss, muscle building, a complete transformation, lifestyle, habits, whatever it is, we are here to help. Drop me a message, whether it's just free advice, you want to sign up to one of our programs, please message us at any time. As you know, at the end of all these podcasts, we give you a little bit of a recommendation. I recently ate in Gaucho in Glasgow, which I'd never been to, and I am an avid steak lover. By the way, none of these recommendations are sponsored yet, but hopefully Gaucho sponsors me and I can go every week. But yeah, I'm an avid steak eater. I've eaten in most good steakhouses in Glasgow, and I'd never been to Gaucho, so me and Kirsty went there last weekend, and genuinely, almost everything was perfect. The starters were phenomenal. The steak was one of the best steaks I've had. Atmosphere was great. The staff were amazing. They actually gave us some free, they said champagne, but I think it was Prosecco, for me and Kirsty were out celebrating something. And the only thing that did let us down was the sides. The sides weren't great, but outside of the sides, everything was great. So I would highly recommend checking out Gaucho if you are a steak lover as well. As you know, anything else that we can help you with, please drop in our DMs. We'll be back next Monday with another episode. Cheers.